Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Of course, we're continuing with our showcase of Importel and their partners and brands, and we're going to shift the conversation a little bit. I mean, we've been all over the map, right? We've been from high performance batteries to audiophile stuff, but we're gonna talk about some ADAS, some driver safety stuff, and a very specific brand that Importel carries that is very proud of what they do because they feel they do it very, very well. And we're going to find that out. But before that, I got, of course, a representative and a co-captain coming on board from Importel that's going to help us on this voyage. And his name is Frank Pellegrino. Frank, what's going on?
Hey, guys. What's going on?
It's been a day, man. It's been one of those days.
That again.
But I love seeing everybody on Facebook and the comments and sharing and all this stuff because it's all about knowledge, and that's what we're trying to throw out there to get our learn on. So what do you know about USA Spec and the type of product of ADAS that you guys offer at Importel?
In the early days, there was some other products out there, but they weren't as good as the USA Spec when they developed their products. It's truly an OEM application. So even if you're getting a new car and you don't want to cut any holes, or as long as it's a plastic bumper, you're good to go. Some professional installation has to be done. It's not something you slap together in a couple hours. But we have probably the most sales in dealer work. So those are going into new cars.
Very, very good. I know that the gentleman who'll be joining us is very knowledgeable and quite passionate. So his presentation is going to tell us what makes this system different. I'm not even tell you what the system is. I'm going to let him tell you. But his name is Victor Chavez, representing USA Spec, and he is the product specialist. So I'm going to welcome Victor to CMA Industry Week. Hey, Victor.
What's up, team? How are you guys?
Pretty excited to get some learn on some ADAS category stuff.
Yeah, they saved to save the best for last, right?
You're not quite last, but you're second to last. So, we don't have time to waste. Why don't you go ahead and put up the presentation so that we can get through that, and hopefully we'll have some time at the end to circle back and get some questions, because I think it's pretty thorough what you're about to present.
Absolutely.
All right, so here we go.
So, guys, one of the things I want to talk about is, what is ADAS? And one of the things that I'd like to tell people is that ADAS happens to be its own category, right? The government felt like it wasn't mobile audio, it wasn't radar detecting for speed or anything like that. So they put blind spot detection in its own category, and that ADAS, you're going to hear it a lot from now on, and it basically stands for Advanced Driver Assist Systems. And one of the things you guys need to understand is that the ADAS category will consist of an active and a passive set of devices. And when I say active, I mean some of these vehicles in the active systems, only the factory can build something with an active ADAS system, like lane keep assist, like lane departure warning, or front collision assist. And what I mean by that is the active systems actually apply the brakes. They will automatically steer you right back into your lane. That's an active system. A passive system would be kind of like a blind spot detection. It'll give you an audible and a visual warning. It'll detect the vehicles that are there. It'll alert you through either an LED, which is a visual warning, or a beep, which is an audible warning. So keep in mind that there are 5 different systems within this category. And I think that, as a shop, it's important for you to know, because if a customer walks in and they have questions, it's important for you to know what you're talking about instead of wondering what your customer is talking about. This is something we all should know as specialists, right? And so 3 of the systems that I'm going to talk about, which is the first 3, they consist of a front-facing windshield-mounted camera. And what this is the first one is lane keep assist. You guys have heard about this one. And this one basically will steer the vehicle back into its lane if it veers or swerves out of its lane. The next one we're going to talk about is lane departure warning. This is an audible warning which will play inside the vehicle. And sometimes manufacturers, which I say give you an active function, will vibrate the seat and steer the vehicle if you're making a lane change without signaling, or if the vehicle veers or swerves off of its lane. Now, the next one is a front collision assist. Some are active, like I said, and will apply the brakes. Some are only audible visual warnings. This system basically helps you avoid a front collision assist. Some manufacturers also use a sensor behind the grille to aid the windshield camera. So again, these first 3 systems that you just heard about are based off of a camera that's mounted on the windshield. The next two that we're going to talk about, which is the ones that I'm here to present to you guys, is these are radar based. And what I mean by radar based is it's not like your typical parking sensor where it has to be exposed and things like that, right? So it could go through plastic. Just keep in mind that metal bumpers are not applicable to anything like this. They basically block the signal from getting through. But anything plastic, you're perfectly fine. Now, the blind spot detection system here, it'll give you a visual alert when a vehicle enters the blind zone, typically within the adjacent lane, starting from the B pillar and back approximately 30 feet. And again, it'll give you a visual alert. It's an LED, and also the audible alert. You can turn that audible alert on or off. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is rear cross traffic. Now, this one's very controversial because there's a lot of systems out there that claim to have rear cross traffic. And let me tell you, they don't work as well as they should. Now, here, the rear cross traffic that I'm going to talk to you about will detect the objects that are moving. If you could tell, it's in capital letters, that are moving towards you when your vehicle is in reverse. So if you're backing out of a parking spot where your peripheral vision is blocked, these sensors will detect 100 feet out on the passenger side and 100 feet out on the driver's side. So a lot of things you don't even see, these sensors will pick up right away, and it'll give you an alert, making you obviously, right, open your eyes, look back, and things like that. Now, keep in mind, none of these systems are designed to replace human interaction. Like, just because you have this, we're not telling you don't have to look back when you're backing out, right? You don't have to turn your head when you're changing lanes and things like that. This is just there to aid, to help you, right, as you're driving. Now, one of the things that we found out, you guys, was in our journey to developing this system, one of the things we found out is that the market had a really sour taste about the blind spot category. And we always wondered why, right? And so one of the things that we understood was from the very beginning, I know Frank mentioned this, USA Spec didn't start off as a blind spot detection, manufacturing company. USA Spec began with aftermarket CD changers with factory radios, and then everything evolved. MP3 players came out, so people then no longer needed CDs. They wanted to plug in their MP3 player. And then iPod came out. People wanted to plug in their iPod into the factory radio. And then Bluetooth technology came about. Now it was Apple, Android, and everything else in the market. So USA Spec, has started in the early 90s developing these devices to integrate to the cars. Well, we found a niche in this category. And the reason why I say a niche, it's because a lot of the manufacturers that had already existed in this category, they built this system based on price. What's the cheapest to manufacture it? And basically that's what it was. Instead of asking themselves, how do we make our system a lot like the factory system, which is the way it really should be? Because listen to me, if I'm going to ask you, Ben or Frank, to go ahead and install this system in your car, spend hours putting it in, remove the bumper, and at the end, when you're done, you're going to have a list of things that are going to be wrong with it. For example, I got a few things listed here. 1, false detecting. 2, 2-lane detections. It's detecting stuff 2 lanes down. 3, you're misdetecting things. 4, the system is always on, so it detects things even when you're stopped. And by the time the system detects the items or the vehicles are either too close, so it's not very factory-like. So when you're done, you're going to have all these issues with it, and there is nothing as a manufacturer that I could do. I mean, that's a really bad situation to be in. So what we did is we developed a system, right, that basically aided in making this thing a lot better. So we included also the rear cross traffic function. So when I say here, be aware manufacturers have used the wrong type of sensors, which resulted in this list of things. Basically, the wrong sensors were used to cut cost. And this is what gave the market a really sour taste for many years until the USA Spec BSM200 came along. I mean, if you compare our sensors to everything that has existed in the market today, you will see that the sensors are very OEM grade. I mean, industrial grade. You could tell the quality in these things with the metal casings and stuff like that. So this is what comes in the package. You get the control module, you get 2 sensors. And these are basically anodized adjustable mounting brackets. Let me tell you, these brackets are not vehicle specific, but they will fit every vehicle body in the market. And so these are the different universal mounting bracket applications you get. You will use 2 per bracket, and we give you a long one here so that you can work with the contour of the vehicle. And this right here is what makes our system so different from everything in the market. Let me tell you why.
Oh, hold on a second. Sorry, Victor. Just to slow down a little bit. I know that we don't have much time, but I want to drive this point home. So those brackets you're saying, that's the only set of brackets that you need.
That's it. You get these brackets in 1 set per sensor. So this would be one side.
One side. Okay. And then the second thing is, if you go to the next slide, I just noticed something big, because from what I've seen so far, everything is GPS based. Now you're saying it's OBD2.
Exactly. Ben, let me tell you, in order for this system to work the way it's supposed to, it's very crucial that it knows how fast the vehicle it's going. And when I say how fast the vehicle it's going, I mean the vehicle that it's installed in. Like if you're driving a vehicle that's equipped with this system, it's important for this system to know how fast your vehicle is going, because guess what? That's what's going to determine how precise this system is, right? The minute you add GPS as a speed sensing device, you're adding room for error. You're no longer OEM-like. And it's crazy because I remember that ever since we came out with our system and we said, this is OEM grade, this is why. So a lot of the companies that are out there telling you they're OEM grade, they don't tell you why. They just tell you. See, in our case, we tell you that we're OEM grade because we communicate directly with the vehicle's data bus. For what? For speed sensing. Like I said, speed sensing is very crucial to our system. This is how our system is able to communicate back and forth between the module and the sensors. The sensors are always calculating the distance of the object, the size of the object, and the speed of the object. That's how it knows when to alert you and when not to alert you. I'm telling you, I'm passionate about this thing, not only because of how well it works, but because we spent so much time, effort, and funds into debugging this system until it worked the way it's supposed to.
All right.
And again, the OBD2 connection makes all the difference in the world. That's what you want to keep in mind. This is why this system is so quote unquote OEM grade.
Okay. Now,
the next thing I want to talk about, right? We get multiple colors to select from. These are the 2 LED indicators. From this picture, I don't want you to think you have to put all 3, but if you see the 2 little black wires coming off of the silver, round things right there, you could replace the silver covers with the black one or with a tan one. So you could choose depending on the interior of the car.
And each one comes with all 3?
Each one comes with?
All 3 colors in the box?
Yes, you get all 3 colors inside the package. That's correct. So, guys, another thing I want you guys to know is this, and this is very hard to come across nowadays. Of course, great products come with great service, okay? So support like no other. I mean, Frank, the guys at Importel, not only do they have the office number, they have my cell phone number. And one of the things I want you guys to understand is that if you have a question today, you're going to get an answer today, whether it be via phone, email, or text message. And the reason why we're so knowledgeable, it's because we spent time into developing this product. Like, I commute, I'll give you an example. I commute about an hour and a half each way every day. That's 3 hours. So I've put this system in my car, and for 3 years, I drove it in heavy traffic. I drove it at 2 o'clock in the morning where there was no traffic. I went out on two-way roads. So let me tell you, that's why we're so knowledgeable, because we've debugged the system so much. And again, what's more important than that? Having the system in stock and ready to ship today. Now, here's our direct contact information. Guys, 24/7 support. Yes, that includes weekends, okay? There's our website. Here's our email address. This is my direct email address. Guys, this is my cell phone number. Unless my kids got a hold of me and I'm like throwing the ball with them and things like that, my phone's right here. I mean, I don't understand some people nowadays where it takes days to call anybody back.
It's crazy.
Victor,
I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm looking at the time and I want to get in this video because I think that video is clutch. If you don't mind,
Absolutely.
Can you set us up for what we're about to watch?
Yeah, if there's
Yes.
anything
So guys,
if anything you're gonna take away is watch the videos. They're amazing.
yeah, I could talk about all this every day. This is a little cut from a YouTube video that we're going to show you. If you have a chance, go to the USA Spec YouTube channel and watch the entire thing.
Yeah.
You're going to get a wealth of knowledge. As a shop, it'll tell you what you should be expecting so that you know what to quote your customers. And as an installer, it'll tell you what to look for so that when you go put one in, you're going to feel like you've done 20 of these before. So guys, thank you so much for your time. Frank, good talking to you.
No, we'll have time to come back. We'll have time to come back.
Oh, okay,
I'm going to play the video first. Here we go.
You must. It's a must thing to watch some videos. They're amazing.
Let's do it.
What's up, guys? Here's a little bit of on-road action of the blind spot detection system BSM200 by USA Spec. Some of the things I want you to be aware of and understand is that this system activates at above 18 miles per hour. There's no reason why you should be at a stoplight or at any intersection with your turn signal on and having this thing flash and beep at you for no reason. You only want to make sure that this system is alerting you when necessary. For example, we got a white vehicle here on the left, and I'm going to go ahead and pass them up. This is a function that very few systems have the ability to do, is to detect vehicles as you're passing them up. If I go ahead and put my turn signal at this point, what the system does is it flashes the LED and it beeps at me. The minute the vehicle gets out of my blind zone, the system stops. But the minute the next one enters, because the turn signal is still on, right, it's gonna go ahead and beep and it's gonna flash. So again, keep in mind, not every system in the market, matter of fact, there's very few that have the ability to detect the vehicles that you're passing up. And the ones that do have the function to detect vehicles that you're passing up, beware, because they're not very consistent, they're not very reliable. One of the things I love about the BSM200 is that it's very reliable. This system was road tested for over 2.5 years in every road condition to make sure that once it came onto the market, it was going to deliver. So again, the BSM200 is a multi-channel system that's going to detect vehicles that are coming up from behind, as well as the ones that you're passing up. And so in this case, we got a FedEx truck on the right side. Very few systems have the ability to detect the vehicles all the way through from beginning to end. Some systems in the market will turn off halfway through this big rig. BSM200 won't do that. It's the most reliable, the most OEM-like system in the market because it's multi-channel system and it's multi-channel function technology, works, and it does exactly what it's supposed to.
I think that pretty much sums it up, Frank. I don't know. Victor. Oh, Victor might have froze there. Yeah, he did freeze, unfortunately. Well, it's just back to me and you, but I mean, Victor did a great job explaining everything, and it's. I mean, did I not tell you he was passionate about this?
Yeah. So another thing is, if anybody wants to go to our website real quick, the links are there for these videos. You should watch it if there's anything you get out of this little segment.
The videos sell 1,000 words. I know for a fact if I showed my better half that video, she'd like, order us stuff. We need that in our cart immediately.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Any message you have for the dealers that might not be engaged into ADAS category product?
Yeah, this is, like I said, we've been pushing this. Unfortunately, it's the little guys that don't really look at this, which they should. It's a high ticket margin. There's a lot of labor in it. We get a little bit more in the new car dealers, guys that are buying it and installing it. And believe me, they're charging. So the money's there, definitely. You
know what? You might say, yeah, it takes a little. You got to take off the bumpers. You got to run into the car. But it's not a complicated install.
No. And you're
not fabricating stuff.
A lot of these guys, too, also deal with body shops. Like if you don't feel comfortable doing it, they'll, you charge them your labor, but you get the body shop maybe to take off the bumper for you if you have to. You give them a flat fee, put it back on, you just do the work. So there's a lot of ways to get around it if they're, edgy about doing a bumper. You know what I mean?
Perfect. Okay. That's all I had. Unless you have anything else you want to speak to that, Brian. I think the video said, did its thing. Certainly looks very, very, very.
A lot of guys don't even know we have that.
Yeah, very, very cool. And like Victor had said, you can tell even the quality of the sensors. I've seen other kits and they don't quite look like that. So
yeah, this
very
is
nice.
heavy duty.
All right, Frank. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ben.
there you have it, guys. Another cool session brought to you by Importel and their ADAS brand USA Spec, more specifically their blind spot detection system. Big shout out to Victor Chavez from USA Spec for coming on, and for Frank Pellegrino for helping me out on that one. So one more to go. Thanks for tuning in. Keep it going. We got a nice finale, and we're going to end that show out and really round out the entire Importel catalog coming up next. Hey, I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.